What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the No Hope Podcast, where we want the world to know that there is hope. This is my beautiful wife, Kaytee.
What's up, everyone? We're so delighted that you're here. And welcome to episode 13. Lucky number 13.
It is. I love the number 13.
Yeah,
absolutely. Me too. And my dad was actually born May 13th, so that is a very special number for me, for sure.
It was a very good day. Right? Yes, indeed.
Well, we are excited to be here. I'm excited for the show today. And the fit that I'm wearing, one of my favorite tees that we have is the Walking in Answered Prayers. I love that. And then the No Hope fitted trucker hat.
Yep. And then I'm just wearing one of our other trucker hats. It's the blue. It has the No Hope on it. To see what you can. Super cozy, super comfy. So, yeah.
Heck yeah. Well, we like to start the show off with a little Rochambeau action, rock, paper, scissors. Mm-hmm. The winner goes first.
All right. You ready?
I think so.
All right. Here we go. Right. Ready?
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh! So, Jude,
I was like...
So Johnny, our kid is in a program called Kid Strong. And for the kids to win, like the competition or whatever, the parents had to do Rochambeau.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny did Rochambeau. They did like 8 of the same rock, paper, scissors. It was so funny. It was like, rock,
it was paper. At least 8 or 9 times. And we kept, I mean, it was like crazy. I was like, we're in like the same wavelength or something.
But Johnny got the W, so Jude was stoked.
And you know how I did it? Is I was going to throw scissors, and I was thinking scissors, and I switched to paper. And she threw scissors.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She's a mind reader.
Crazy, right? So
great.
Awesome. So today, what I wanted to talk about was I wanted to share something that I've learned over the 39 years that I've been here on this earth. And what I learned is the secret is not over there, it's in here. And I just kind of wanted to talk about, you know, how important it is to go internally to get our mindset right, our belief system and our heart, and how that plays a massive role on our future and the success that we have. Everything that we want is internal. It's in our heart, it's in our mind. And I believe that you have to become successful here before you can become successful physically in the world around us. So that's something that I just kind of wanted to dig in with you and see, you know, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's amazing that as human beings, we think the same thoughts over and over and over again. I think it's like 70% of our thoughts are the exact same from yesterday. And once, you know, I'm not sure where I heard that, but I was like, oh my God. And then you become aware of that and you start realizing day after day after day, you're thinking the same thoughts. And so it's like, how can you shift to really start to think about different thoughts so you can get your life in a different place? Because I completely agree with you. It all starts in our hearts, in our deep-seated beliefs about ourselves and what we can create.
Yeah. I mean, something that I've done that has kind of helped me, I think, is number one, just being consciously aware of what am I thinking about? I mean, because we can go on autopilot, right? Yeah. Just the same thoughts that we've had day in and day out. And we can kind of lose ourselves in not even be consciously aware of where we drifted off to. And then we find ourselves getting upset about something that happened in the past or whatever it is, right? So for me is something that I was like, okay, I am going to change my mindset. Yeah. And I think reading books is an incredible place to start. Getting a mentor is so powerful. But I just think in general, it's being consciously aware of what am I thinking, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's a lot of spiritual attack that's happening around us that, you know, we can't see it. Or some people can, but most people can't see the spiritual attacks that we're having on them. Right. You know, Jude, great example. He was just having a hard morning the other day. And I just like took him to the side and I stopped and I prayed for him. And all of a sudden it was just like, like a breath of fresh air. So if you find yourself like being attacked, like having these constant thoughts that you're like, I can't get away from this, and it's giving me so much anxiety, I just want to encourage you to really just surrender yourself and pray and just be like, God, please help me with these thoughts that are coming in my mind. I think that's always been a huge, huge help to me
Yeah,
and our little
absolutely.
family. So,
Most definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, prayer is powerful. I was telling him that on the way to church this morning,
Yeah.
on how powerful prayer is.
Yeah.
I was like, if we could see what was happening in the spiritual realm when we pray, I bet we would be so blown away.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. So, to piggyback off of what you said, the one thing I wanted to talk about is the power of self compassion and overcoming struggles.
mm,
And I feel like it's not like you're going to reach a pinnacle in your life where you're like, I have no more struggles. I think
mm-hmm,
that as you gain success and you gain clarity and you start to gain more spiritual wisdom, that the attacks aren't necessarily less. It's just that you become stronger.
mm-hmm,
And you really, as you begin to become stronger, having that self compassion with yourself and creating space. Like this weekend, I had to chill. I started a new job and I'm homeschooling and I'm doing all these things that during the week I like go, go, go. And then the weekends I'm like, dude, I just have to like sit right now.
mm-hmm,
And Johnny is really amazing at reminding me that it's okay to sit, because before I would sit and I would feel really bad and I would be mean to myself. I'd be like, girl, why are you so lazy? Like, get
mm-hmm.
up and do something. You know what I mean? And now I'm like, finally, at the times when I'm able to rest and I'm able to do these things, I have self compassion on myself. And I
Mm,
realized that a lot of times I was, teaching Jude like it was okay to be hard on yourself. And I find, sometimes he's really hard on himself. I'm like, dude, don't be hard on yourself. And then
mm-hmm.
I really have to look in the mirror when I'm being hard on myself,
Yeah.
especially if I'm like going through a struggle or going through a time that I'm like not really loving on myself.
And I
Right?
also think that when we don't rest, because we can be so proactive and we thrive off of being productive and getting things done, right? That
Mm-hmm.
we, especially when you have massive goals and visions, like every day you have to chip away at it,
Yeah.
we can self sabotage
Yeah.
by not resting when we need to, and we
Yeah.
could run ourselves to the ground. So that's why it's just really important for me to remind myself as well. It's like, hey, it's okay to rest,
It's
right?
all
It's
right.
okay to relax and take it easy, so you can be much more productive when your week starts, right?
Yeah.
So,
And I think that we're given those opportunities to rest, and
mm-hmm,
sometimes we don't take them, and then we're
true.
going to experience like some deep, deep burnout or, these undiagnosed symptoms that it's like,
Yeah.
dude, what is going on? And it's like
Mm-hmm.
your body is just like begging for you to rest and for you to take care of yourself and for you to
Yeah.
like drink water or see sunshine
Right.
or something.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's why I'm feeling weird
Yeah,
right now.
exactly.
Yeah.
Another thing that I wanted to talk about is how the person that you marry will not stay the same, which is a
Mm.
good thing because growth is inevitable. But I
Mm-hmm.
was thinking about how incredibly powerful it is when a husband and wife are unified and they have the same goals and visions. You know, Kaytee
Mm.
was saying last week to me, she was like, I know we have like the same vision, and we're kind of going towards the same thing, but I think that we can get it more dialed in and
Yeah.
focused so we're on the same exact vision for this season,
Yeah.
for this week, this month. And I really thought that was powerful because I'm like, that is so true, because your husband and wife, you can have the same goals, like
Right.
where you want to end up. But I think along the way, you just need to continue to clarify that of like, in this season, what are we going for?
Yeah. It almost makes me think of like a video game where
Mm-hmm.
it's like bing, 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 and you're like
Yeah.
hitting all like the
Yeah.
different lights. You know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
okay, you hit that one, I hit this one, and then we're gonna go and we're gonna meet at this next level or whatever. And God was really putting it on my heart, like, hey, are you and Johnny like really in sync for like what your monthly vision is? Are you
Mm.
doubling down on what I've called you to do? And are you doubling down on like who you are and the vision that I created for you?
Yep.
Because a huge thing with us for at No Idea is we want to help people become who God created them to be. And it's like, okay, Kaytee, if you're wanting people to become who God created them to be, are you doing that? Like, are you
Mm.
looking in the mirror? Are you feeling like every day you're doing your best to become who God created you to be? And I'm like, dang, No, because I'm not perfect. You know what I mean? I'm like, what
Yeah.
can I do?
Mm.
What can I do to become who God created me to be? Like, that's a big fatty question mark, don't you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah.
Like, what do you think you would do if you're like, okay, I'm gonna do what I can to become who God created me to be?
What would I do to become that?
Yeah.
I think I would start by reading the word and spending a lot of time in prayer.
Yeah.
I feel like that is like the where it starts. That is the foundation
Yeah.
to ultimately become who God created you to be. So there's a lot of seeking, right?
Sure.
But I would just dig into the word and I would just pray every single day. I would maybe find 2 or 3 times, maybe 10 minutes each, and just in the quiet, just pray. And then I would listen for the Holy Spirit to guide me. And sometimes you can kind of get that direction, and then sometimes you're like, you know, in the middle where you're
And like
like,
a waiting
yeah, like a
season.
waiting season. And I think that that's good. Sometimes God wants us to be still.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would just go in like
Inward.
very deep with my relationship with the creator of the universe, who we can talk to and have a relationship with, which is incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I totally agree with that. And I think that having, again, that compassion when you're in a waiting season
Mm-hmm.
and continuing to maybe do the things that you don't necessarily want to do, getting in the word, making sure you're meditating, making sure like you're allowing yourself to hear from God. I've always said that like prayer is the time that you're talking to God and meditating is the time that you're receiving from God.
Mm.
And during my meditation, I think it's really important to me that like when I sit there, right? Sometimes I get lazy and I'm like in a ball and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And I have to sit and you really are able to align all of your energy centers. And when you do that, it's really cool because you're creating like a direct entry point from heaven through you to the earth. And when you do that, it's a profound like healing that you feel. It's like energetic through your body, and you're able to feel God's like life force come through your body. And I think that's, you know, it's interesting because I feel like there's so many incredible spiritual practices throughout all religions, right?
Yeah.
And I think that each one has something to teach. Now, Johnny and I, Jesus Christ is our Lord, but I think that as when you start seeking your creator, God is going to find you and he's just going to get a hold of you and he's just going to love you up.
Yeah.
And show you who he created you to be. I'm going off on a tangent. Sorry.
and I think that's one of the things I always say is sometimes you have to experience you're not in order for you to realize who you are, because there's something so powerful about living in a way to where you come to the realization of like, wait a minute, this isn't me.
Yeah.
Like God didn't create me to live like this.
Yeah.
And then you realize, and then at that point you're like, I know who I am. I'm somebody that loves to encourage other people, that is bringing people together, because I'm really big on relationships,
and exhortation.
I love encouraging people because I feel like so many people, including myself, can be really hard on themselves.
Yeah, they're
and
like,
so yeah. And
that was me to myself.
Yeah. And there's something so powerful to be able to encourage somebody. But I think more than that is to mean it.
Yeah.
Right? I don't just say it. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
just say it to make them feel good and fluff their feathers.
Yeah.
I literally say it because I see how special they are in God's eyes,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I think one thing that's really important in, becoming who God created you to be is to stop comparing yourself to others and to truly cultivate true confidence and authenticity in your unique journey.
Yeah.
All of us are on like this like special mission. And I believe I spoke about this in the last podcast, is that before you were born, before you came to earth, you had a powwow with God and your spiritual team. You're like, okay, this is your mission. And you're like, heck yeah, I can handle all those struggles and those problems and those hardships because I know that my mission and my purpose will be fulfilled here on earth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so easy to do. Like I find myself, I was like cruising on TikTok and I was like, oh, I wanted to go see John's Summit in Vail with Johnny this weekend. And I was all mad because I kept seeing all the people in Vail this weekend. And I was like, and I like had to stop myself. I'm like, hey, listen, you were not supposed to go to that.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a time for you to do that with Johnny and for you guys to do those things. And it's, I used to struggle really, really bad with worry and with comparison and with like this deep, deep self-doubt. I struggled really hard. And it was something huge that I had to overcome. That's why I'm such a proponent for authenticity now, because I was so inauthentic for a time in my life that I was just doing anything that I could to fit in, anything I could to be with the crowd. When I'm definitely not like that. I'm definitely just different, and we're all unique. You know what I mean? And there was always a reason that I just didn't fit in. And it's come to the point where I really embrace that. And I hope that other people can embrace that too, because each of us are made so unique with so many beautiful skills and beautiful talents, but you'll only be able to recognize it if you stop looking at everybody else and you start looking at yourself and being like, oh, I have wonderful gifts to give to people.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
And that's actually a perfect segue into the other thing that I wanted to talk about was the best relationships aren't the ones without struggles. They're the ones where both people commit to growing through them. Because I remember when we were about to get married, and one of the themes kind of at our wedding was burn the ships, right? And that's something that we committed to each other, is there's no plan B, right? We were 100% committed to working this out one way or another. And man, I'll tell you, after 10 years of marriage and being together for over 14 years, like we've been through it. Like there were many times where it was almost like, you know, I'm see ya. Like,
my hiney was scorched from running through hell. Like, oh my God, we gotta get out of here, man.
Right.
But you overcome those things, you know, things, you know, people mentally, it's not like people mentally always have something to work through. There's always something going on, whether it be their subconscious mind, whether it be something from their childhood or something that they put themselves through. Everyone has mental things that they have to work together through.
Yeah.
And when you have a partner that you're like, okay, we committed to work through this together. And it's so powerful when you have two people that are bonded together, that are willing to work through it, that are willing to be like besties for the resties.
Yeah.
Regardless of like the hell that you go through.
Right.
It's so powerful because, you know, Johnny and I have always been huge in our faith, and that's how we got together actually. You know, we were like really good friends because we did shows together when we were younger. And I had bought myself my first Bible. Like, I'm sure when I was little, like maybe I had a Bible or whatever, but I was older, you know, and I was 19 years old and I didn't know Jesus and I was a wild child and all this stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to church. You know what I mean? I'm going to clean up my act here. And I brought my hot pink Bible into work, and Johnny was raised as a Christian boy, you know, and he's like, are you reading the Bible right now? I was like, yeah, I'm reading the Bible. It's working through. And he taught me how to read Proverbs, and he taught me how to read Psalms, and it was like so beautiful. And I was like, this dude's so sick. Like, this is my friend right here. Like, such a good friend. Like, we were such good friends.
Yeah, it was awesome though, because ultimately, like, you want to grow old with somebody that you're best friends with. Like, of course, she's beautiful and extremely attractive, but at the same time, like, you want to find somebody, and I believe God will bring them into your life. I believe, you know, don't like consistently search and try and find who is that one. When you stop and you say, I'm going to work on myself and I'm going to become a better version of myself,
the most authentic version of myself too. Yeah.
You're going to attract the right person, because when you're inauthentic, you could attract somebody else that likes you for that fake version or unauthentic self. And then when you change to become more authentic, they might be like, you've changed, you know, and leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the one guarantee about a relationship is that each person is going to change, and
Mm,
each person is going to evolve. I've loved every version of Johnny. You know what I mean? All the different versions that he's become. And I'm so excited to see the versions that you're going to become in the future. It's
right.
just so fun to watch. And God
Yeah.
has given me a vision of Johnny when he's older. And I'm like, perfect. This
That's
is great.
awesome.
It's
Good
so
to have
wild.
gray hair.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
It's super tan.
That's awesome. Let's go.
Uh,
Well, another thing that's really cool is because, we've worked together all like pretty much our entire life. Like we've done, we had a,
Our entire adult life.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like from the time we were working at SeaWorld together, and then we would kept, we had our, what's it called with image counts?
We had a photography
our franchise.
We've had a painting business
Painting
together
business.
before. We've had a home services business.
Right.
We
And so
worked in Hong Kong together.
Yep.
We lived in Vegas together.
Right. So I'm excited for this next season that we're in for a
Yeah.
few different things. But what's awesome is that we're working together on another really cool project. And my goal has always been to get $1 million deal. And Kaytee's got some lined up. And I don't know who's going to get it first.
Listen, don't share my secrets.
Right?
Right? No, and it's so cool because God has always brought us together to work with each other. And it's really fun. And I'm really grateful for it because we're in a state of growth together. And then our son gets to see that as well.
Mm.
And, we're already praying for his wife one day because I think that's
Yep.
super important. Johnny's parents always told me, like, girl, we've been praying for you. And as a wife, it's like, oh my God, that's like so special and so wonderful. And I'm like, man, how many times did those prayers, not only from my parents, but from Johnny's parents, protect me without me even knowing it?
Yeah.
So if you're wondering about as your child grows, get older, like, oh God, who are they going to marry? Just start praying for their spouse right
That's
now.
good.
And it's so, so powerful.
Yeah, because when I was little, I mean, when my parents would pray, right beside the bed, they'd pray for Taylor and me and all that stuff. But I vividly remember when I was younger that they would pray for my wife and wherever she's at in the world, that God would protect her and keep her safe and all that stuff. And I mean, the way that you just said it, like, how did those prayers help me in my life when I was younger?
Yeah.
Is like, that's so true.
Mm-hmm.
Like there could have been different things that those prayers of protection kept you safe,
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah. And I'm so grateful for it. I think that
Yeah.
the power of prayer is the most profound gift that we've been given.
Mhm.
There had been many times when Johnny was struggling with his addiction, and all I could do was pray. All I could do. There was nothing more that my physical body could possibly do to help. And that's when my prayer life really, really amped up in such an incredible way. And I was able to see the power of my prayers. Because when we're directly linked with God, we're unstoppable. There's nothing that can stand in the way of your relationship with the creator of the universe, which I think is incredibly powerful. And something that I wanted to touch on here is, how connecting with nature and prayer brings growth and healing. I have a little niece and she's just a little cutie, becoming a tattoo artist, and she's following her passions and her dreams. And there's something to be said, when you're trying to help somebody, right? When you're trying to give what you have for them without just trying to like spew advice on them or whatever. And one piece of advice that I always give is just to like go sit down, take off your shoes, go sit under a tree, and just allow nature to heal you. The vibrational frequency of the earth, and from the wind and the sound of the birds and the sun casting on you, it is the most healing experience you could ever have. And I only give that to her because that's all that I could do when I was younger. I didn't really feel like I had somebody that I could really truly go to and just spill to. And in that, I developed my relationship with the creator, and just like going outside and being in nature is such a tool. It's such an incredible tool, like in your spiritual toolbox to just create clarity and feel so good.
Right. Yeah, because I think anything that connects us to God and His love
Mm-hmm.
is extremely powerful, especially with all the distractions, all the information, all the news, all the technology. It's just like never ending that you could lose yourself. You could
Yeah.
lose your way and get distracted from the noise and everything like that.
Yep.
That when you go out and you just take a breath, you just realize like sometimes I can get so caught up in like circumstances and situations that I make it huge.
Yeah.
But when I just step back, take a breath, and just like look at it, I kind of remove myself from it. And I think it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
Like
matter,
in,
really.
in the hindsight of things, it doesn't matter, you know? And that's another thing that I was going to talk about was Mel Robinson talks about, she has a theory, let them be, right? Just let other people be who they are. Let them be who they're not. Just step back and don't worry about what other people are doing and how they're acting, because I think it's going to distract you from becoming a better version of yourself. If you get so tied up and like this person's doing this and this person's doing that, instead of wasting your energy, focus it on you. Like, how can I show up differently?
Yeah.
Right? How can I become more valuable to those around me? And watch, your entire world will change from the inside out. It's incredible.
It is incredible. And because I think what happens when we start talking about other people, which is like really easy to do, especially like I come from a big family, so it's easy to be like up in everybody's business, right?
Yeah.
But I think what happens is your energy starts to get really fractured. Like if you can imagine your energy, it's like this beautiful line. And when you start really worrying about other people and everything that's going on, it starts to fizzle like this. It's like a split end in your hair. Instead of that strong growth and that energetic connection, it starts to splinter. That's the word that I'm looking for. And it makes you lose power, especially because you're so focused on everyone else. You're not thinking about yourself at all. You know what I mean? And it's that Bible verse. It's like, remove the speck from your own eye before you tell your brother about the speck his eye.
Yeah, exactly.
Or whatever it is, you know?
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, that's so awesome. Well, I think ultimately it's about going within and just taking time to get clarity on what do you want, right? What is your why? Because that's going to be the driving force for when you wake up in the morning and you're tired to keep going, is to be able to have that clearly defined. And again, I just want to encourage you, whatever business you want to start, whatever vision you have for your life, everybody in the world that has accomplished great success and built an incredible empire or brand, they're no different than you. The only thing they did was they took massive action and they believed in themselves. So that business that you want to build that does $100 million a year, you can 100% build it. It's just going to take time and your commitment and belief in it, but you can do it. You know, think about that. That gets me fired up. Like, you could build the brand, build the business, whatever you dream of and write down on paper and have this vision for, you can make it happen. It might take 5 years. It might take 10 years. It might take 35 years. But if you never quit, ultimately you can make it happen.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. So don't give up on yourself and continue to fight the good fight. And we're all in this together, truly. Everybody's going through some different struggles. So show love anywhere that you can, and especially to yourself. Show yourself lots of grace and just continue to wake up, because we need you. We need that dream that you have in your heart.
That's so true.
So yeah, thank you so much for listening, you guys. We're so grateful that we just have the opportunity to do this. And we're sending you lots of love. Definitely go check out our website. You can go to the QR code at the end of this. Go check out new merch. You can also do a free download for discovering your purpose. You get a little coupon in there. So thank you so much again for tuning in. And
thank you guys. We appreciate the opportunity to spend this time with you. We are excited for what God has planned for the future. I like to go through my day believing and feeling that good is around every corner, and I expect good, incredible things to happen, miracles to happen. And I just think it's a good perspective to have in life. Instead of saying something bad is going to happen around the corner, go through life saying, man, something incredible is about to happen around the corner.
Yep.
So on our website, you can download a free download to discover your purpose and passions, which is awesome. Probably take you 10 minutes to do it. Yeah, thank you guys for everything. Go have an incredible week and make it happen.
See you guys.